Yes, now that's a better way to ask you. I appreciate that.
Sorry.
Have you ever seen on your caller ID a call from a board member from more than one telephone number?
Yes,
Okay. Who were those board members?
the three that I cited. Well, definitely Director Peterson, definitely Director Volkandy. When I had made the statement about Director Carr, I had seen a phone number in the bottom of an email, and I recall seeing two over time, but I don't recall ever having a conversation with Director Carr necessarily from a different number, but I've seen it in an email.
Okay. I appreciate that clarification. I'm sure Director Carr will too. Did you receive a whistleblower complaint from Marla Brunette?
No.
Okay. You only received complaints about her?
That is
accurate?
correct,
Okay.
yes.
And then Dr. Keither, of course, you received a whistleblower complaint from her?
Yes.
Okay. Are those all of the whistleblower complaints from 2020 to the present that you've received?
No.
What other complaints have you received?
I'm going to object to the extent that there might be individuals who have not consented to their information and name being spoken about in this setting that have not previously been identified in any other setting as whistleblowers. Answer the question if you can.
The time frame begins with
2020 to the present.
okay. So Miss Ford, Miss Keither, Miss Foleron, Mr. Furman, Miss Chastik, Miss Kakotosh, Miss Kakotosh. That's what I recall in the moment.
When was Kim Callie's, when did she report to you that her whistleblower complaint?
This would have been maybe 2017 or 18.
Okay. And what about Tracy Parrish?
That one might be in the time frame of question. I don't recall.
Okay. Julie Winkleman.
Yes, that was received in that time frame. Yes.
Okay. What about Portia Diggins?
Yes, she raised a concern in that time frame.
Okay. Celeste O'Connor.
I don't recall if that was in that time frame, but we did receive one from Celeste.
Okay. Can you explain to me why you didn't mention Portia Diggins or Julie Winkleman, for example?
I just didn't recall.
Okay. And also you didn't recall Tracy Parrish as well?
That is correct.
Okay. And how about Miss Kelly? Do you know who that is?
Miss Kelly?
Yeah. Kelly.
Can you restate the question, please?
No, that's fine. I only have the first name, so if you don't recognize that, it's. How about Leah Wright?
I don't recall getting a complaint from Leah Wright.
Okay.
This is supposed to be that. My apologies.
Shelley Keller. Does that sound right?
Yes.
Okay. Who was that?
She was an individual in the IT department who had concerns about, I believe, they related to unfair treatment of, I think, women in the area.
Okay. How many whistleblower complaints have you not told us about because the whistleblower has not consented to, or otherwise approved of use of their name?
Objection, argumentative.
I don't know the count. And especially as it relates to the time frame, because there were more prior to 2020.
Okay, we're talking more than 10?
I believe so.
Okay, did you give those, and you took notes on those whistleblowers?
It, in some instances, I'm sure I did.
Okay, and did you provide those to your attorney in response to the ALJ's order?
I provided those who were named to be produced.
Which was who? I'm sorry, who named those to you?
Objection, vague.
I thought that was the order of the ALJ and a request from you, Mr. Cross, that there were specific names of items in my personal possession related to Ford, bowling maybe was in there as well, chapstick, Folaron, Miss Miscavitosh. I forget the complete list.
Okay, has there ever been a time when you've been asked to provide information regarding whistleblowers, but you answered the question in such a way that you did not provide information on whistleblowers who had not authorized you to reveal their name yet?
I'm going to object to the form of the question.
I don't know.
Why not?
Can you say the question again? I want to make sure I understand. Can you say it again?
Yes. We've met, I've examined you several times. Once under oath regarding Garcia Hope.
Yep.
Right? Once under oath regarding Debbie Keither, and another time under oath, and I'm forgetting in what context. Correct me if I'm wrong. No, maybe it's just those two.
Just the two, I believe.
Okay. Great. So at any time during those two time we gave testimony under oath, were you ever asked a question about how many whistleblowers were whistleblower reports that you received, where you only gave responses to people who you were authorized to give responses from?
I don't think so.
Okay. So did you ever mention the name Tracy Parrish during your deposition for Dr. Keither?
I don't think so.
Okay. Did you ever mention the name Julie Winkleman? Why not?
No. I wasn't asked about any matter related to that party.
Okay. Portia Diggins?
Same response. I wasn't asked about any.
Okay. Celeste O'Choniger?
Same.
Okay. And Shelley Keller?
Correct. Same.
Okay. So if you had been asked about how many whistleblower complaints that you had received from a certain time and you hadn't included those names, that statement would have been false? Is that true?
Objection, argumentative.
What I recall was being asked for counts of individuals but not specific names, and then producing specific names through the ALJ process request.
Okay. Did you see the order of Judge Brown that you responded to?
Yes.
Okay. And did you read it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's go to this one here, which I think we're on 6. For that, here's your copy, and here's mine.
Where do you want this one? No, that's okay, right there.
Is this-
No, it is, if you need me to make more.
No, that's fine. They got 2.
Are these one exhibit or?
Yes.
So
So you're
because-
gonna speak to me here, and I'm saying, yes, that's one exhibit.
Can we get a copy?
You have one copy here, and you've got one copy in your hand.
That's
Here, you take that since that's the official.
That's fine.
So we can save the Piggle Wiggle?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. And what is this document?
These would be notes that I captured in a conversation with Ms. Chastain.
Okay. And can you remind us what department Ms. Chastik works in?
She worked within MPSU at the time.
Okay. So, there's, I guess, can you just explain to me the first section? I think there says unpaid additional somethings. Do you see that there? I think that's 4 lines down.
Oh, yes, I do.
Okay, so can you just decipher that first section there for me?
The unpaid additional hours?
No, I'm
Everything
sorry.
above it.
Above that.
Yeah, sure. Baez asked he call me.
Okay.
Who is, who?
Baez, B-A-E-Z.
That's Tony Bias, correct?
Yes,
A former school board director?
yes.
Okay.
Lonnie Anderson Concern asked to break FERPA, F-E-R-P-A, state statute, background check, fake letters of admissions to gain provisional license. Something meeting. Can't require work FMLA work if they want to.
Okay. Now, this was reported to you back in 2020,
Yes.
right? So you were operating on a different SOP at that time?
Yes.
Okay. Did you report this concern to the board?
No.
Why not?
This was packaged as part of the MPSU overall.
Okay. Have you ever discussed MPSU with Jackie Mann anytime?
Yes.
Okay, what were those discussions?
They were related to internal audit, conducting a review of MPSU.
Did you mention this Amy Chastik investigation to Jackie Mann anytime?
No.
Okay. Did you mention Teresa Folleron's complaint to Jackie Mann anytime?
I don't think so.
Okay. Have you ever brought a whistleblower complaint directly to Jackie Mann?
No.
Have you ever discussed the whistleblower complaint directly with Jackie Mann?
The Furman matter when we had to retain counsel.
Okay. And I guess we can go back to that for right now. Okay. Was there a telephone conversation with you, Miss Mann, and an attorney for the board regarding Calvin Furman's accusations?
Yes.
Okay. And do you recall who that attorney was with?
There were two. One was with Mr. Valit, and then a subsequent phone call was with Ms. Horwitz.
Okay. And subsequent to your meeting with Mr. Valit, did you make any reports to you or Dr. Mann make any reports to the board?
Not immediately.
Okay. How about sometime after immediately?
Yes, when Ms. Horowitz was retained and then went forward with with her investigation.
Okay. And what did you report to the board then at that time?
I believe that Ms. Horowitz had been selected, and that she would proceed on the matter.
Can you explain to me how Ms. Horwitz was selected?
I believe she had at that point been retained in another matter for the district.
Okay. What other matter?
I believe she was defending in a lawsuit brought by Will, W-I-L-L. I forget the acronym, I'm sorry, but,
We know it.
okay.
So she was defending a lawsuit against Will, and was that the reason was that active at that time?
Yes.
Okay, was that the reason that you went to her?
Yeah, as attorney who had already been retained and already retained by the district, it was observed to see if we could just add the scope to the work, the relationship that had already been established.
Was that to avoid having a vote to spend additional money to hire a new attorney, or for some other reason?
I don't know that.
Why not?
I just know that that was the approach, that the person was presently retained, and so that would be the individual with whom we engage this work.
You were at the closed meeting in which there was this consensus was reached to hire Attorney Horowitz, right?
Yes,
Okay, was that issue, the cost of hiring Attorney Horowitz discussed at that meeting?
I don't think so.
Okay. What about the cost for hiring Mr. Philippe?
That didn't come up because he was not gonna be the selection, or the recommendation for the selection.
Well, do you know how Mr. Philippe got paid?
Objection assumes facts in the record by the foundation.
I know Mr. Philippe represents the district in other matters, but I don't, so I'm assuming he gets paid in relation to those other matters.
Okay. But so there was no instruction to you or to Jackie Mann, based on the consensus, to start a new matter with a Bulow Vetter at that time. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And how did you get a hold of Mr. Philippe at that time?
Dr. Mann placed a phone call,
Directly to him or some other way?
I believe directly to him.
Okay, and were you there at that time?
Yes,
Okay, and did he pick up directly?
I don't recall that.
Okay. Was there a scheduled time for this call?
I don't believe so.
Okay. So it's fair to say that you picked up the phone and he answered?
Dr. Mann picked up the phone and he answered.
Okay. Did she have to look up his telephone number?
Objection. Speculation. This line of question is completely irrelevant to the matter in which we are here for today.
I don't recall.
Okay, thanks. All right. Now, are you aware, you know who Dr. Holliday is, right?
Yes,
Okay. And then Dr. Holliday didn't file a whistleblower complaint with your office, right?
he did not.
Okay. But he did file an external ERD complaint. Is that true?
I believe so.
Okay, and how do you know that?
Miss Horowitz had asked me about it.
Okay. So is it fair to say that Ms. Horowitz represented the district adversely to Dr. Holliday with regard to his ERD complaint?
Check the foundation.
Miss Horowitz was representing the district. Is it, I'm sorry.
Okay. She was representing the district.
Yes.
And not Mr. Dr. Holliday, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And in fact, she responded to Dr. Holliday's complaint on behalf of the district?
I believe so.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna, I guess halfway on this page here of Exhibit 6, there's a word that I can't read, but then it says holiday. First of all, do you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I want to say circumstance.
Circumstance holiday? Do you know what that means?
I don't.
Okay. Now, I'm going to go down 2 more full bullet points here.
Okay.
Okay, do you see, and it says brought,
Yes.
what does that say?
Brought to Holliday's attention. Ask for confidentiality.
Okay, and then what?
Holliday told Anderson, and
What does that mean?
what I'm remembering is Amy Chastik had shared a concern with Dr. Holliday and had asked that he, maintain confidentiality on it, and then that he then subsequently told Mr. Anderson.
Okay. And I just want to be clear that you knew this back in September 22nd of 2020, right?
Yes.
And you also knew that when Dr. Keither reported her complaints to you, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you also knew that when Dr. Garcia-Hoven reported his complaints to you, right?
Yes.
And you also knew that when Dr. Ford reported her complaints to you, right?
Yes.
Okay. Did you tell any of these people that fact?
Any of the names that you just mentioned,
Exactly.
I don't believe I shared Miss Chastik's concern with anybody else.
Okay. And can you show me, just like with Dr. Ford, can you show me where in these notes on Amy Chastik that it says that you told her that you were taking this information down for informational purposes only?
No, that is not present here.
Okay, and so that's similar to the one with Dr. Ford where that was also not present there, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Are you able to show in any of the notes that you've provided to us anywhere where it says that the complainant is aware that you are taking down information for informational purposes only?
Objection, vague, lack of foundation.
I don't believe so.
Broad.
Okay.
You're fine, go ahead.
But you testified that you had those conversations, correct?
With these individuals, yes.
Okay, but for some reason you didn't take those notes, correct?
The notes were captured, maybe I misunderstood the question.
Well, you didn't note anywhere that you had told them that you were
Oh.
taking this for informational purposes only?
Correct.
Okay. Can you explain that here today?
Basically, there's a judgment call as it relates to the ability to conduct the review to the extent that it ensures very little chance of retaliation to the complainant. And that informs generally our approach on the topic.
Who's making that judgment call?
I am.
Okay, so that's different than your previous testimony in which you said that you only did that after having conversations with the complainant and receiving their okay to take this information down for informational purposes only, right?
To the form, it's argumentative.
It's in parallel too.
I'm sorry, I don't understand what that means.
So, as it relates to an individual and the manner in which we move forward, then it's a process of balancing what is the exposure to the whistleblower and what is the opportunity to move this forward without them feeling retaliation.
Okay, and again, you're the only one who's making that decision.
Yes.
And you're not communicating that to the complainants at all, are you?
I think it depends on the situation.
Okay, but you don't have any evidence that you've done that, right?
Not captured.
Do you have any other evidence?
Aside from other individuals corroborating it, no.
Okay, who can corroborate it?
Objection, argumentative, asked and answered.
Yeah, I can't think of a name right now.
Okay. I think that this is appropriate time to go off the record and take a short break here. I'd like to confer with Dr. Ford, but I'm also going to ask Dr. Keither to come with us to avoid any similar repetition of what happened there. I'm going to ask also that the videotape be recording throughout this period to capture any further misconduct.
All right.
First of all, I'm going to object that there was no misconduct. Secondly, we're off the record, the camera goes off. The camera does not go on unless everybody agrees it goes on. That's the same thing with the court reporter. So we're off the record, everything's off.
Is that how things work at your office?
That's how it works
Okay.
everywhere.
I'm glad that you get to be in charge there.
Agreed, and I would like to say, I would appreciate that you stop mischaracterizing what has occurred here today, okay?
We're joined as well.
Great. We got witnesses, so I don't need to mischaracterize.
Do you know how
anything.
much longer you're going to be?
I couldn't answer that. So are we ready to go off the record?
Sure.
Okay.
Everything's off.
Stand by, we are going off the record. The time is 2:32 p.m. This is the end of Media Unit 4.